robber Bianca Ripley, and Mrs. Templeton Crispin Sickles. Everyone has heard of Tom Thumb, but people may not know his distant relative named Thaddeus Thumb. Thaddeus Thumb is Tom Thumb's brother's son, sister's daughter's third and youngest child. Thaddeus Thumb lives in modern times, and his adventures are quite exciting, as those of Tom Thumb are. During summer vacations, Thaddeus always goes to camp. Camp has all kinds of fun activities.
Okay, everyone, climb up onto this house. Put your feet in the stirrups. Today we're going to ride the range.
All the kids climbed on their horses. That is, everyone except Thaddeus Thumb. Instead, he mounted his trusty mouse. He used a tiny toy saddle from a cowboy action figure.
Whoa, boy. Easy. Good mouse. Good mousey. Okay, giddy up. Hi-ho, whiskers away.
Suddenly, there was a loud, stumbling noise in the distance.
Stampede! I don't recognize that sound from anywhere. Some of the other horses must have gotten loose from the pen. You could stay here, and I'll go round up those runaway horses.
Old Buck galloped off as fast as he could. Thaddeus Thumb could not resist a good adventure. He sped off close behind on Whiskers the mouse.
Do my eyes deceive me? Those ain't horses, it's an elephant stampede.
About 10 elephants were stampeding through the valley. Old Buck turned around in fright. He rode off as fast as his horse could carry him, but Thaddeus Thumb kept on riding straight toward the runaway elephant.
Look down, elephants. It's Thaddeus Thumb to the rescue, and I have peanuts. I'm riding houseback. I'm going to round you up and drive you home.
When the elephants saw the mouse, they stopped in their tracks. When they turned in terror and ran the other way, Thaddeus Thumb chased them all the way back into town. It turned out they had escaped from the circus. Then he rode his mouse back to camp.
Thaddeus Thumb, you may be the smallest cowboy I've ever seen, and I reckon you're off to the races. As a reward, I made you a little lasso out of a shoelace.
Later in the summer, Thaddeus' friend, Freddie Fingers, had built a treehouse.
Thaddeus, climb up here. It's really cool. You get a great view. You can see the entire neighborhood. I got spaghetti. That's tempting, but nice try, Freddie. It gives me gas. I would like to climb up there, but your treehouse is too tall. I think I'll build a dandelion house instead.
As you can tell, our actors and actresses added some of their own lines. Thaddeus Thumb gathered up some toothpicks. Then he climbed up the dandelion stem and built a tiny house. Suddenly, a breeze kicked up. Thaddeus Thumb grabbed onto one of the little dandelion parachutes, and it carried him into the air. He rose high above his neighborhood, then high above the town.
Wow, look at that. There's Freddie's house. There's my house over there. And there's the ball field. People are playing baseball. From up here, they look as tiny as me.
The breeze died down, and Thaddeus' dandelion parachute began to fall back to the ground. Suddenly, below him, he saw a robber running out of the bank. The robber had a big bag of money in each hand. Thaddeus Thumb let go of the dandelion parachute. He dropped onto the robber's shoulders, right next to his ear. Thaddeus Thumb knew he had to think quickly.
Police, drop the money. Put your hands up.
The robber turned around and looked over his shoulder.
You can't catch me. I'm such a great start. I can't even see you back there. Drop the money at once. Put your hands in the air. Sorry, I can hear you, but I can't even see you. Duh. Don't you read the newspaper? Every police officer was just issued a brand new invisible uniform. I'm wearing mine right now. I'm right behind you, but you can't see me. Now drop the money, put your hands in the air. You are under arrest.
The bank robber was so frightened that he did as Thaddeus had said. Soon afterward, the real police arrived and arrested the robber. Thaddeus Thumb was a hero. The police officers were so grateful that they sewed him a tiny uniform out of blue felt. Soon summer ended, and Thaddeus had to return to school.
It is the first day of school. Welcome back, students. I hope everyone had a very enjoyable summer vacation.
Thaddeus Thumb was starting the 3rd grade. He was the smallest kid in his class. He sat on a huge stack of books so that he could reach his desk. When he wrote, he had to stand on top of a piece of paper. It seemed huge to him. He would push his pencil around, and the pencil always seemed huge.
I would like everyone to write an essay about what they did this summer. I'm sure all of you had various adventures, large and small. Take half an hour and write down some of them.
I went to camp. I ate spaghetti with Freddie Fingers, and it gave me gas. I got my own personal lasso from old Buck. He was the instructor for the horses at camp.
Thaddeus Thumb thought about his adventures. He had been the smallest cowboy his friend old Buck had ever seen. Who would have guessed that he would ride a dandelion parachute high above Freddie's house, or that he would have stopped a bank robber? The more he thought about his summer, the more excited he became about riding and sharing what he had done.
What I Did This Summer by Thaddeus Thumb.
The end.